Super Mario 64 is one of the most important games of all times. It was a game that blew the world away when it was released, because it showed how 3D navigation in games could work. It is a masterpiece, and I don't think that any game ever got so destroyed by its community as Super Mario 64 did. Over the last 2 decades, some of the most talented glitch hunters in the world mercilessly took the game apart, piece by piece. Just to give you an idea of how broken the game is today, the awesome Super Mario Wiki features a list of all known glitches in Mario 64, so that no glitch is ever forgotten. This page contains more words than the Wikipedia page on the American Civil War. I'm not kidding, I actually counted. In this video I want to showcase some of the legendary glitches in this legendary game. So are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so our first glitch takes place on top of Peach's castle. The top tower of Peach's castle was never meant to be explored. Because of this, the tower behaves really weird. First, it is possible for Mario to walk on the side of the tower for some super weird reasons, which freaks the camera-carrying Lakitu out a bit and gives Mario an amazing view of the empty landscape. But that's not why Mario came here. He came here to glitch through this wall texture. Once Mario finds himself in the inner of the castle, he would be trapped in his room if it wasn't for this door. But luckily this door exists, which brings him back to the actual interior of Peach's castle. But sadly it does so on the wrong side of the door. Mario can walk through as many doors as he wants now. He's trapped and he will always end up on the wrong side. I love this glitch because it manages to be so incredible nonsensical while making a surprising amount of sense at the same time. I mean, yeah, that's how doors work, but that's also not how doors work at the same time, isn't it? Anyway, if Mario wants to escape this horrible door dilemma, all he needs to do is to walk through the wall. Hooray! In order to perform our next glitch, our plumber needs to restrain himself. First, our plumber needs to break a red question block to spawn a wing cap. Now the hard part begins. Instead of picking up the amazing winged hat in front of him, which Mario totally wants to pick up, he needs to wait until it almost disappears. While this may seem cruel at first, it's all for an even better reward. Once the question block reappears, Mario needs to jump into it and then grab the old wing cap immediately, while the new one drops onto his head as well. This gives our Italian hero not only one wing cap, but 2, and confuses the game. Mario now carries the cap in his hand. He's still able to fly and to hit stuff. After a while the wing cap will expire, but our plumber keeps his cap nonetheless. If Mario picks up a bob-omb while carrying his cap, the game understandably doesn't exactly know what to do. Because of this, it loads the bob-omb particles into Mario's hand, but makes the bob-omb disappear, which seems like the best solution the game could go for in such a messed up situation. Sometimes the game even decides to give Mario a really useful backwards boost when picking up something in this state, which makes Mario go whee! Anyway, let's take a look at a couple of smaller skips and glitches. In Tall Tall Mountain, it is possible to pick up the slide star without ever entering the slide. All that Mario needs to do is to jump over this cliff and to kick into the star. This is so easy to pull off that I always wondered whether it is intentional. Mario's slide kick is probably his least useful technique, but there is at least one use for it in the game. Lava doesn't burn our hero for the first bounce if he slide kicks onto it. Yeah, and you thought the slide kick was useless. Bob-ombs can be picked up after they were thrown. This puts gigantic bob-omb versions into Mario's hand that give him an insane backwards boost. This is actually one of the most useful glitches for speedrunning in the game. The star behind the evil chain jump can be grabbed really fast like this. In Lethal Lava Land there is a cute little shell glitch hidden. If Mario slides into this wall, he takes damage, but he doesn't do his ouch, 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 ouch. I burned myself jump, because he's probably so confused that he glitched through the platform that he forgets about it. But don't worry, once the platform moves away, he remembers and jumps really high into the air for no reason, as a compensation for the ouch 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 I burned myself jump, which we didn't get to see before. Slopes in Mario 64 are really interesting, because if we hammer the joystick fast enough, we can make our Italian plumber walk to the top of every sloped surface of the game, no matter whether this makes sense or not. Okay, so let's take a look onto one of the most insane glitches in Mario 64. Cloning. There are several ways to pull this off, but I find it the easiest by using this method. Just take any cork box in the game, throw it and wait for it to despawn after exactly 30 seconds. All we need to do then is to grab the box on the exact frame it disappears, and we get a ghost cork box into Mario's hand. And yes, this is exactly as tedious as it sounds, but it is totally worth it, because the cork box Mario now carries doesn't exist anymore, which means the next object the game loads will be placed into Mario's hand. This could be anything from a Goomba to a cannonball to a bubble cannonball thingy. Mario is even able to place this object somewhere into the air. There is much more to this glitch, and I can't possibly explain everything that is possible because of this really insane trick. But if you're interested in learning more about this trick, I highly recommend to check Pen & Coax's video about cloning in Super Mario 64 out. You can find the link in the description. I highly recommend to watch it. I'm really just scratching the surface here with this glitch. Next, let's take a look at the most prominent glitch of them all. Let's beat the game with less than 30 stars. First, we need to pick up Mips the Rabbit. Mips the Rabbit is the silent star of this glitch. We can use him to glitch through the 30-star door, but first we need to find a way to get Mips to the door. Luckily, Mips and Mario are able to achieve this together. Mario needs to carry Mips to the door. He wants to glitch Mips through. Then Mips needs to glitch Mario into the door. Mario now needs to turn back and to pick up Mips while he's still inside the door and to put Mips back down on the other side of the door. Then he needs to use the door in the intended way for once, and hooray! Mips is now on the other side. What a useful rabbit. Together with Mips, Mario is now able to glitch through the 30-star door and to beat Bowser there. If we actually want to beat the game now, we need to perform 2 more neat little glitches. The next star door can be passed by backwards long jumping or BLJing. Backwards long jumps are basically, well, backwards long jumps. If our plumber starts to long jump backwards while on a stair or a slope, he's able to build up insane backwards momentum and to pass objects like walls or doors. By using this little trick, it's possible to teleport our plumber into the attic room. The last obstacle between Mario and his princess is now the endless staircase. Luckily, it is possible to BLJ here as well, which teleports Mario directly back into the room he came which teleports Mario directly into the final Bowser level. Hooray! These tricks are far easier to pull off than it might appear, so if you want to beat Mario 64 with as little as 16 stars, just go ahead and give it a try. Okay, so for our next glitch, Mario has to enter Snowman's Land. In this area there are these coins, but as soon as our plumber runs towards them, blended by all the riches they promise him to obtain, they suddenly transform into a money bag and jump away. If Mario jumps on top of one, he's still able to obtain the riches, but that's not what we're going to do with them. We're going to do something better. If Mario runs close to a money bag while the money bag transforms into a coin, it will transform into a coin and jump away at the same time, which duplicates the money bag. Now there are 2 money bags, and this is where the madness begins, because these money bags can be duplicated as well, and those as well, and those as well, and so on. It is extremely tedious for a plumber to clone the money bags by foot. Getting rich ain't easy, but luckily there is a setup which allows Mario to clone as many money bags as he can handle. Just grab a shell and write circles close to a money bag. If done correctly, the money bag will always duplicate once Mario comes close, which allows Mario to generate as many money bags as he desires. Watch now, in all his glory and featuring the original audio, what happens if Mario becomes too greedy and clones too many money bags. The game hard locks, and the only way to recover the console is by pulling the plug. It's almost as if Mario 64 is trying to make a political statement about capitalism with this glitch. I just don't quite understand what exactly the game is trying to say here. Anyway, next let's start the Chuckia madness. So this little helpful guy is called the Chuckia. Chuckias are pretty glitchy. They like to pick up Mario and to throw him around, which is fine for me. I guess Mario doesn't like it too much, but he probably got used to it by now. What he probably isn't used to is what happens if a Chuckia catches him while he is in air. Because if a Chuckia catches him mid-air, something horrible happens. Many people believe Mario just disappeared. Others think he lost a life but the game didn't update. And still others say he's probably fine. It's just the camera carrying Lakitu who quit his job at this exact moment. But they are all wrong. They have no idea what horror actually happened to our otherwise so cheerful plumber. Because the person you know as Mario no longer jumps happily around, but is stuck in the middle of nowhere forever. Anyway, this block in Wet Dry World is pretty broken for two reasons. First, if Mario crawls on top of this box while he is below the wall, he suddenly is no longer below the wall, but inside of it. This trick is basically free and everyone can pull this off. But there is more to this wall, because if Mario carefully jumps towards the corner of the wall, he's actually able to clip into it. The collision for the bottom and the top of the wall actually still work, which makes this a pretty horrible place for Mario to be in. But luckily, the side walls do not collide and Mario is able to get away from this glitch alive. In Tall Tall Mountain, there is a neat way to get out of bounds. All that Mario needs to do is to long jump towards this wall, and he suddenly finds himself in a water puddle, which lives inside the Tall Tall Mountain. There isn't much Mario can do here. If he tries to swim down, he will sooner or later lose a life for no apparent reason. The only actual use that this out of bounds trick has is to reach a higher layer of the mountain pretty fast. This trick is actually used in speedrunning. The next trick isn't used in speedrunning, but it is one of the easiest tricks to perform in Mario 64 and one of the most entertaining as well. First, our plumber needs to lose his cap to this evil head grabbing bird. Mario really doesn't like not having his cap. But Mario, don't you worry, once we're done with you, you never have to worry about having no head again. All we have to do is to kick the evil head stealing bird, which makes it drop this precious head down, and then we do not pick the head up, but use this teleporter to teleport away and back again. And we're done, because teleporting clones Mario's head. If he picks his two heads up now, he's once again in the same state he was when he picked up two winged caps. But this trick has a lot of potential, because we're not only able to clone Mario's head once, but as often as we desire. Every time we teleport, a new head is born. We can continue to do so until we're absolutely sure that Mario now owns more heads than he'll ever need. And now let's take a quick look at my favorite glitch, the legendary Chuckya glitch. This glitch is old, really old. The oldest video recording of this trick I know about was posted over 9 years ago. So what's this all about? Well, this trick is probably best described as it started cute but escalated quickly. Okay, so first we need to pick this Chuckya in Wet Dry World up, and then we need to do the same trick we did before. Mario has to jump down, and while he's dropping down, the Chuckya needs to catch him mid-air. This puts the poor Chuckya onto the wrong layer of the level. The poor Chuckya now desperately tries to reach his home, his spawning point, once again. But soon he has to realize that this is no longer possible because of the wall. If you believe that this is the worst part of the Chuckya's day, then you are clearly mistaken, because next we need to drown him. The Chuckya wasn't programmed to ever be underwater, and it seems like he doesn't really care whether he gets wet or not. He tries to throw Mario around nonetheless. He simply doesn't care at all. All that he wants from life is to go back to his spawning point, because that's how he's programmed. But Mario has got other plans. Mario is now able to pick him up while swimming. It pains me to say this, but this Chuckya is never going to see his spawning point again. Anyway, Mario is now able to jump around while carrying the Chuckya, which he isn't supposed to be. Next comes the hard part of the glitch. Mario needs to jump onto this ledge while carrying the Chuckya in a pretty precise angle, so that the Chuckya collides with the edge and Mario gets glitched backwards. Getting this for the first time took me forever, but once you got the hang of it, it actually isn't too bad. Now, Mario and the said Chuckya moonwalk towards the downtown area. Once we did this, the glitch is complete. All we need to do is to swim towards the downtown area now. This is the moment where the Chuckya probably realizes that he won't be seeing his homeland ever again. But luckily this realization shouldn't hurt him for too long, because soon Mario traverses the hidden loading zone that connects the two parts of Wet Dry World. So the game is now in a dilemma. Mario carries a Chuckya, but the game is told to unload all Chuckyas when loading downtown. But if the game unloads the Chuckya, what does it load into Mario's hand? Well, the answer is anything. The first object that the game loads now appears in Mario's hand. And the best thing about this, whenever Mario crosses the loading point, it becomes something else again. This could actually be anything. Enemies, stars, coins, trees, boxes, parts of the level geometry, you name it. It's a ton of fun to mess around with this. Some of the objects can even be used in new and creative ways. I once again recommend you to check out PanandCoix's videos if you want to understand exactly what is going on here. Anyway, that was the last thing I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. And maybe you feel especially P-Switch. Blue question, Corkbox today, and want to hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks to all the amazing glitch hunters which spent many hours picking this game apart. Thanks for making the real world a better place by destroying virtual ones. I hope that you have a wonderful day and to see you soon. Goodbye.